A guy that's very passionate about football. He loves the game. Very physical. He enjoys the contact side of it. He's a guy that you can give a lot of information to. So very, very impressed with him. But I know a lot about Gunnar. I looked at him when I was at Stanford. I just liked him coming out of high school. Numbers plays part of it, but he got nicked up his last year there. So, but I'm glad I got an opportunity to work with him.
Just in the little bit that you saw from him out of high school, what jumped out to you?
Yeah, exactly what I see here. A young man that was very passionate about football. I think he'll reach his potential, whatever that is, because he'll work very hard at it, So I say that all the time. I haven't been around long enough, so I'm not sure what the final destination will be for him, but we're not near the final product. And so I'm just excited to see where he'll end up. We still got a couple years in front of us.
When you come into Arizona, do you watch film on the guys that you have, or do you want to learn more out here?
Yeah, I tell you, I watched really about a game and a half just to get a feel for just some of the abilities of players, and that was it. I didn't pass judgment on anybody. Like I said, I told my players when I left Stanford that it's a new beginning for all of them, whether you play it every snap, and it was the same thing when I went to Texas. It's new eyes. It doesn't matter if you were a starter, you played every snap a year ago, or you didn't play at all. There's a new set of eyes on you, and so everybody come with a fresh start. Because all we know is that next season, that position needs to be played better. It could be the same player, or it could become somebody else. All we know is that position needs to be played better.
One of the guys that's kind of stood out is Isaiah Taylor, how he's been making plays. Can you just talk about his performance?
Yeah, he's just kind of another one that we can give a lot of information to. He grew up in a football family, has a good feel for the game of football, very physical. Much like all the safety, Dalton's the same way. And so right now, I'm just embracing what Coach Nansen had talked about in terms of we're going to be a team that's going to swarm the football, and that is going to be very physical. And then the last is do your job, and that's kind of when Coach Nansen mentioned those were the things. I'm here just to support that philosophy because I was kind of wired that way too. That was very attractive to me.
How was spring ball when Coach Tomey was here?
Spring ball, much like we're getting now, we were a blue collar outfit, and where we just had a bunch of guys, much like here. We didn't have a bunch of 5-star, heavily recruited, whether it was Waldrop or Teddy or Brandon Sanders, but there were guys that loved ball, and were very connected. I think what Coach Fish is doing with some of the team building aspects is what all the really outstanding football teams and football players were very much tied into the team. And you see it there, the team. I give Coach Tomey a lot of credit. When he came to the University of Texas in 2004, he brought that blue collar mentality with him, and that was the start of 2004. We beat Michigan in the Rose Bowl, and next year was our national championship run, and beat SC. And Coach Tomey's fingerprints were all over that, and he brought that, what Coach Fish is talking about, being connected with your team, your teammates. Because I think when we're all in it together, it means much more. So much more to celebrate victories when we're all involved. Because if we're all successful, everybody will get done. You'll get more honors and you get more wins and bowl games and those kinds of things. So it's fun to be part of that.
So you haven't experienced it yet, but what Coach Fish has really done a good job of is really emphasizing making it an alumni weekend for the spring game. What do you think about that and just the program opening up its doors to former players?
Well, that's what you have to do here. There's great football tradition here. I lived it. The first alumni was put together by Jeff Hammerschmidt back in the day, and it was a lot of fun where everybody came back. I'm excited. Sounds like there's going to be a lot of ex-players that I spilled blood with. I look up at the stadium, I think it's 24 names up on the stadium that I spilled blood with while I was here. So it's going to be exciting to see all those guys, and I'll be interested to hear some of the stories, I'm sure that the fish got bigger over the years, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be fun sharing some of those old stories, because there are a lot of great stories that I was involved with in the 14 years, and the players I lined up with and spilled blood with.
One of those guys coming back and kind of helping out on the sideline is going to be Chris McAllister.
Yeah.
Can you just share some stories about Chris and his playing days here at Arizona?
Chris McAllister, I'll tell you, I've coached a lot of great players. Okay, I don't know what, 7 or 8 first rounders, 7 guys that were Thorpe finalists, you know, and 3. Chris McAllister by far was, I don't know how he didn't win it in '98. You know, I don't remember. I saw on the wall he had 18 interceptions and he had 2 in Nebraska in the bowl game. I don't think they count bowl game interceptions in overall stats. That's 20 interceptions. I think back, I can't remember him dropping a ball. He's the most, well, I wouldn't say the most, but he is as competitive of a football player as I've been around. What we did with Chris to keep him interested when he decided to come back his senior year, we would take the middle safety away from him. We would take the whole player away from him just to keep him engaged in the game. When we played UCLA in '96 with Cade McNow, you know, being a left-hander, you know, when I break him down, he was 86% of his throws was going to his left hand. So we just played Chris in right corner. If you go back and look at the game, I was really interested to see how he played, because they had Paulie Dixon and Freddie Mitchell out there with the 2 wideouts. And sure enough, he played the whole game. He played to his right-hand side. Was his worst statistical game of his year. It was, what was his name? The big running back that finally rushed for over 100 yards was a big part of that game. But Chris, his competitive spirit and his athletic ability is not matched by many. And I had some great ones at Texas too, and at Stanford.
When Coach Hundley comes back from the IR, will your role change at all?
You know, I'm just here to support what Coach Fish and Coach Nansen do. I'm just a small piece of this puzzle, and I'm just blessed that I've had an opportunity to come back here and be part of this. So whatever my role becomes, I'm happy, because as I've said to the players, I watch them chase the football now and physical. And shucks, I had Spam, eggs, and rice for pregame meal. I feel like I'm back home.